all day long, but I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. And my feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at and turn it back around. Can't stop me.
Well, good evening and welcome to Psych Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course with me tonight is the amazing Techy Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I'm here. Now, we actually have a topic for tonight. We're going to be talking soul contracts and life themes and a lot of pre-birth spiritual information and spiritual theory. Here's the reason it's taught as theory. There is no evidence of it. There's a lot of psychics that say this, but we have no evidence. All right. Hi, Brenda. How are you?
Hi, Shannon. Hi, Brenda.
Shannon.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, it sounds like a fun topic. We do have 2 news articles as well. And then, of course, we'll be taking questions. So if you have a question for Aeson, please don't forget your date of birth, month, day, and year. The most important part that makes the lawyers happy.
Exactly. Because the rest of the stuff is just interesting, but not everything. All right. So first, Ben & Jerry's has been in the news. They've taken a stand against the West Bank.
Yeah, this one's a little confusing. So, I'm struggling with this one. So, okay, so Israel their prime minister has vowed to take strong action against boycotts after Ben & Jerry's decided to stop selling ice cream in Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories. So the real issue is those settlements are the thing that's truly at the center of controversy. That Ben & Jerry's is going in and selling ice cream to those settlements is just kind of the add-on problem because it looks like legitimization.
Right.
Hi, Novella.
And
so, yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I'd pull out of the whole country.
You know, there's a lot to be said for Israel. They've talk about the ability to have a continuous and very confused existence.
Right.
Because the Israel-Palestine conflict thing, that's been going on forever.
Right.
Like they just can't chill.
Right.
You'd think the Ben & Jerry's would help, but
exactly. And one of the franchises is going under and selling it. But here's the thing: that contract is set to expire next year. I wouldn't renew it.
There is that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take a stand against Israel's behavior, stop selling to it.
Well, there is that. Although Unilever, which owns Ben & Jerry's, because if y'all missed that, Ben & Jerry's got bought years ago by Unilever. It's one of the Unilever brands. They are fully committed to maintaining a presence in Israel. So, yeah. That's kind of...
Yeah, they're looking to make news because they haven't made ice cream news in a while.
Well, but yeah, apparently this may filter into the U.S. There are 35 U.S. states with anti-boycott, divestment, and sanctions laws, and try to enforce them against the company.
Right. Again, this is a privately held company. It is not a government company. As long as they are not violating health and safety, i.e. food and drug, they should be able to do what they want. And if they don't want to sell to, like right now, I would not take a contract to Israel. Sorry. Not going there.
Yeah.
I also won't take one to Afghanistan. I also will not go to Alabama. I also will not go to Illinois.
Well, what did Chicago ever do to you except for a really bad musical?
Mike Pence.
Oh, right. No, that's Indiana, dear. Indiana. Mike Pence was governor.
Pence. That's where there was a whole thing out of Illinois about them backing Mike Pence, not touching him.
Oh. Okay. I missed that one. I figured Indiana would have done that.
Yeah, Indiana's been on my no-file list for a while now.
Oh, well, yeah.
Any other place that can willingly choose to give me health care or not if I have a medical emergency while traveling interstate, yeah, I'm not going there.
That's very fair. I mean, such is the state of our world.
Right. See, the thing with these 35 states, they've yet to be tried in federal court.
Yeah. And I think Unilever would be a really bad company to go up against on this one. They've got a war chest.
Exactly.
I mean, just to add perspective here, because I know at one point I was freaked out by the amount of brands that Unilever has. Everyone's least favorite product, Axe. Dove, Paracel, Hearts Ice Cream, Hellman's, Knorr, Lipton, Lux, and that's just a few. Magnum, Rexona and Degree, Lifebuoy, Sunsilk, Sunlight. It's a big long list.
To remove your prescription, you need to first
here's
make a
Alexa, stop.
Alexa app.
Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, they've got a huge number of brands.
Right.
Oh, that's Magnum Ice Cream. Magnum Ice Cream.
Mm-hmm.
Can someone please differentiate the two?
Agreed. But here's the thing with it, and here's the big thing to begin with. These companies need to start taking stands.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting missiles into children's homes, I don't care what country you are, is not a good look.
Well, forget it being a look. It's just bad, period. It's horrible.
Right.
But
we keep backing them. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Totally and utterly ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? If Ben & Jerry's folds to this, you won't be getting Ben & Jerry's.
Well, actually, after they became a Unilever company, can I just say I didn't think I think the ice cream quality went down a little.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to call it a huge loss. Now, if they got my gelato, I'm screwed. That's where I'm at.
Point blank. But it's taking stands like this, choosing where we're spending our money, looking at how companies are using their money,
Mm-hmm.
and going further with it. It's like Walmart's. We stopped shopping at Walmart's as an everyday thing. They have to be the only company in our area that has something that we can get to faster by Amazon.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, this is the problem with a company as big as Unilever, though, is they're a little hard to avoid. It's a pretty big list. They are a major corporation. Trying to avoid them, that's tricky.
Right.
I mean, Unilever, Procter and Gamble, those are two companies that it's if you decide to go, no, we're taking everything they produce out of our life. There's not a lot left.
Yeah, there is. Last time I checked, they don't own farms and they don't own vegetables.
They do not. They do not own those things.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they do, but not all of them.
Exactly. And that's my point. point blank is we got to start figuring out where we're spending our money, what vibration is going to it, and if we want to support that company.
Right.
I mean, we left Dove a long time ago.
Yes, we did. And that's because, yet again, that's a product that has been changed and reformulated, and the new version, not so great.
Right.
But, I mean, that's just me. That's my personal skin issues speaking on Dove. Yeah,
Right.
bad life choice here.
Right. All right, so let's get into Tennessean.
Yeah, here's a story to make you want to like rage quit life. So Tennessee abandons vaccine outreach to minors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you first read that and you think, oh, we're talking about COVID. No, we're not. It's not just for COVID-19. So the Tennessee Department of Health will halt all adolescent vaccine outreach, not just for coronavirus, but all diseases, amid pressure from Republican state lawmakers, according to an internal report and agency emails obtained by the Tennessean. We are quoting the Tennessean here, just so you know. If the health department must issue any information about vaccines, staff are instructed to strip the agency logo off the documents. They will also stop all COVID-19 events on school property. Let's see, and additionally, the health department will take steps to ensure it no longer sends postcards or other notices reminding teenagers to get their second dose of the coronavirus vaccines. Postcards will still be sent to adults, but teens will be excluded from the mailing list, so the postcards are not potentially interpreted as solicitation to minors. Yeah, there's a lot to this because they'll also be reducing their Facebook presence.
Yeah, but see, this is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Delta variant brewing throughout. Corona is up 50%. We may be looking at masks and gloves and lockdowns again.
Mm-hmm. And I think there was a city LA County just recently went back to mask mandate.
Right, because we have these fools that don't understand basic stuff like Ron Paul, which I want to give a hooray to Dr. Fauci for calling his ass on the calendars. He's the second stupidest senator we have. First being, Turtle Mitch, both from Kentucky. Kentucky, get a hold of your idiots. They're drunk at the house again.
Your village has lost its idiot. We have found it. Please take it back.
Yes. But, we have Texas here trying to eliminate most of the educational platforms for people of color, people of other generations, no longer teaching Indian history, no longer teaching I Have a Dream.
Mm-hmm.
We have Tennessee going nuts. We have Arkansas going nuts. Like, something needs to be done with the stupidity. Rein in these Republicans.
Absolutely. Well, and it's happening here in West Virginia too, and we've been covering that. Like, you name it, we've got a hand in it somewhere for, it's the Darwin Awards this year are going to be very hard to decide. That's what I'm saying. The Darwin Awards are going to be very hard to decide this year for who really, really did the most stupid. Because, we have multiple states running in stiff competition for that award.
Right. Very staunch competition for that award. And here's the thing. Here's going to be real things come winter. This will be the call of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Winter is also very specifically, we know this is cold and flu season. We know that a lot of this is functionally going to just get worse. This is the best it should be. And it's already getting worse. This is literally the best time of year for any kind of cold, flu, virus, whatever you got going on. This is usually a period in which it recedes. Because people can spend less time indoors. They're not cooped up together. They can put some distance. So the fact that we're seeing spreading continue means we're already well past, this being like any other cold, flu, general virus that one would get. And even for coronavirus, yes, it does get a little bit better for you in the summer. Not that much. Not that much. And we're still seeing things decline.
Right.
So that's a very big consideration right now.
Right.
Is and especially with the variants, and the fact that right now really most places are only testing for coronavirus at all, not necessarily testing for specific variants, which is leaving some issues with the real numbers, so to speak,
Right.
in terms of, we know this is occurring, we know the variant is there, we know people are still getting sick. We don't always know if they're getting an original strain, i.e. because they were unvaccinated, or if they're getting one of the new strains, and or whether we have vaccination coverage. Like right now, this isn't all new. There is some research, but it is not a treasure trove of concrete science. It is more so a lot of, this is still new.
Right.
There is a lot we don't know and will not know for a while.
Right.
And I know that's concerning for a lot of people, especially, or has been, concerning vaccination, because these are new vaccinations. And I get some concern existing.
Right.
For if there are any potential issues that will crop up in 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Okay, but if you're facing those issues in 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that means you survived today.
Right.
So at this point, we're kind of looking stronger towards that.
Yeah, especially when 96% of current active cases are from non-vaccinated people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if they're going to, first of all, we've had a health department that is useless. They were designed to deal with this. This is what they're designed to deal with. This is what they've been rented to deal with. They've done basically nothing. And they keep doing less and less and less.
It's been ugly.
Yeah.
I also know that in a lot of ways that while this is very much what health departments are meant to deal with, I don't think health departments were ever meant for a politicized virus. Because that's what is
for a pandemic. That's what they were designed for.
They are designed for a pandemic. That's what I'm saying. But we also have another layer to this one that I don't think anyone ever really saw coming. I mean, probably should have, given the climate we've been in over the last several decades. But effectively, I know there were in past pandemics, there is always a certain faction that has, a conspiracy theory or has a, disagreement with vaccination or denies the existence of whatever's going on. Help me out if there are any others that were actually made political and weaponized into a political stance.
Yes, many of them.
Okay.
The Black Party in San Francisco was totally political.
Okay.
And racial. Like, they've been dealing with politicals before.
Okay.
Okay? They're not using their power. They have not used their power. They should be directors of health charged with murder. point blank. When the churches were not locked down, when they were not showing up and shutting these places down, when that place in Huntington wasn't shut down, yeah, they should have been doing what they were given power to do, and they chose not to.
And that has not been helping this. And I do understand I have a lot of frustration with Tennessee. And its current situation, and that it is going to completely abandon effort.
Right.
But that's also where I'm kind of going with the political argument that I'm making. Is this has been turned into such a political issue. That, you know, like this all started under Trump and has steadily gotten worse.
Right. And he gets arrested.
Yeah.
He should have been arrested a long time ago. But at least some of his cronies are getting arrested.
Yes.
You know, one of his Trump advisors, Tom Barrack, arrested as a foreign agent.
I had not seen that one yet.
It went to you.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm opening it now. So, yes, he was arrested Tuesday on charges he secretly acted in the U.S. as an agent for the United Arab Emirates. Failed to register as foreign agent, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and 4 counts of making false statements to the FBI. Ooh, that doesn't get you a short stint in jail, especially not at 74.
10 years will do him good.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was Tom Barrack, chair of former President Donald Trump's 2017 inaugural committee, who was arrested.
Yeah. Prosecution is set for May, you know, prosecutors contend that from May 26th, he shared with the United Arabs what he called the total confidence draft of Donald's speech on energy. He shared presidential documents.
Oof.
Presidential documents.
Yeah, that's going to be an ugly trial.
Yes.
Well, as in it's going to end horribly. Like, there's no way that ends well for him.
No, it shouldn't.
And no, I'm not saying it should. I'm just saying those are not things you want to ever hear yourself being charged with.
Right.
Because trying to defend against that is going to be a very hard battle.
Right.
And one I don't think you're going to easily win, and nor win.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he should be charged, tarred, and feathered. Point blank. He shared presidential documents. Charge him. Speaking of charges, the Florida man, Paul Hook, say this one for me.
Oh, trying to get there. Paul Hodgkins gets 8 months in prison, is first January 6th defendant sentenced on a felony charge.
Yep. $2,000 in reinstatement, 15 to 21 months, pled guilty, took 8 months because he was working. He was not part of an organization. Okay, that's nice. Let's get the rest of them in jail.
Yeah.
Not in the mood for him. Like, I think the federal government needs to take a really bad stance. It's like Ron Mooney today.
Okay.
I went off on him. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you see that I go off on Mooney quite often because he's my current representative until his seat is removed from the House. Talking about, oh, how, the Biden's administration is the most pro-choice, everything in history.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else is going to get those cliff notes.
No.
I mean, try to rewrite history as much as you want, but...
Right. And it's like, let's see. Country's doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Vaccines went out as planned when there wasn't a plan. Economy's coming back up.
Mm-hmm.
If we get this infrastructure built through, we'd have better roads and trains and planes and better financing for people and more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got representatives up there whining and trying to lie and push conspiracy theories.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Like Marjorie Yada Yada. She needs to go back to Georgia since she doesn't even live in her district and get out of the seat.
Fair. Very fair. I still can't believe that one hasn't resolved itself.
Well, she isn't on any committees. She isn't allowed to introduce any bills. And I do believe Pelosi is about ready to start posing charges against her.
Ah, yay. So we're just getting there.
Yeah, we're just
Taking
getting there. It's taking a minute. Federal governments in the United States act slower than they should.
Well, it was always meant to be a slow system. You never want to rush to judgment. Although we've seen many rushes to judgment out of our government.
I just want to know what I was drinking when I was on the other side, because looking at all the stuff that I put into my life contract, it's like, really?
Like, this is what you agreed to? Like, whatever you're drinking must have been great.
Well, and that's what gets handed a lot of times to people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You ready for it?
Yep.
All right. Christina, 92285, wanting to ask what the month of August brings in for my relationship.
Looking at the month of August, overall in your relationship, I think you're going to see the strength of the relationship. I do feel like there's a better balance of power coming up in the relationship. A good bit of travel, but I feel like communication has really got to get worked on.
Okay.
Really got to get into the grounds. Okay, but I think the relationship in itself does better. It gets more comfortable. There's a lot more communication going on. All right, so let's dig into tonight's topic. First, let's talk about life themes. Life themes can be one of those. Did you get a chance to look at this, honey?
Very, very briefly.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Do you want to table it for another evening?
No, I can see if I can hold my own on this one.
Okay.
Worst thing that we do is I'm just like really like, hi.
Yeah, you're looking cute, but
Yeah,
I know. But life themes or life paths is this idea that as we come in, we are set here to learn something. Be it love, nurture, we're here to learn forgiveness, we're here to learn things that we cannot learn on the other side. There's actually been a lot of research into this one with hypnosis and looking at it. But again, it's hypnosis, so we have to kind of sit back and look at that clinical and go, how close are we? You come in here and try to learn, and be planned to learn love. So the love theme directly connects with experiences of caregiving, searching for proximity, attachment, sexual intimacy, Friendship, cooperations, and supporting movements allowing men and women to be conscious and free. Or you can come down to learn values. This one is kind of like your property, my property, who owns property, that type of thing. Where's your value structure at? Or you do have, we all get to take a turn at the power structure. What motivates us, what brings our human existence in, what we want. Do we want to change things? That survival instinct that you don't get on the other side. Freedom, which I think a lot of us are merging with this life theme of freedom and being the explorer, and figuring out just where we can go, what we can do, how we can do things. Truth, that ending truth, living in organics, gives you a new view on what is true and how many versions of true there is. It pertains to personal growth, relationships, benefits, self-descriptions. And then if you come in on the justice theme, this is you needing to take time to learn justice. Now understand, this theory is not connected to the karmic theory. That, each life you have to progress and, what you do in this life affects the next life. Because karma waits a whole life cycle.
Okay.
Do bad in this life, you have to pay karma next life, not this life.
Mm-hmm. So more so so karma is basically either repentance or benefit from what you did the last time.
Exactly.
And this is more about, there are specific things you need to learn, and this is the classroom you are in.
Exactly. Hi, Ashley.
All right.
Welcome to class.
Hey, Ashley. Yeah. Well, welcome to your life theme class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It's kind of like majors. If we remember this life is a college. You have certain majors, and you have to take certain majors.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So, your major may be justice. So this life you're learning justice and figuring out how to do and what to do with justice.
So effectively, this sounds like it would only set up 6 lifetimes.
Effectively, that's 6 lifetimes that you would be learning. Now, there's other theories out there. I like the explorer. I like, the warrior path, or, there's different names for these paths, but these are the 6 that they've been able to verify through hypnosis meeting, using, the TEL clinical psychology thing. But the important with this is, just because, this would be 6 lives, but let's say you're Severin. You really aren't getting this justice thing.
Mm-hmm. So you might have to repeat.
Yes.
Okay, so what becomes the ultimate goal? Like, okay, I've got the 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I got all A's. I did this well. I'm totally down. I've got all 6 majors.
Uh-huh.
And then what's the theory for next?
Well, the theory for next is that you should be done with your cycle, so you can choose to either come back or stay on the other side.
Okay.
All right. So Ashley missed the 6 basic theories, and I'll go over them again. There's the love theory that you're coming to learn love. There's the justice theory that you're coming to learn justice. There's the truth theory, freedom, and power and value. Like how valuable you are as a soul to this life.
Okay.
Again, there's other names for them, like the explorers, normally the freedom path, or the warriors, the justice path. Like they classify them up. So with that, the point is you come in, you finish that lesson. It may take a couple lives to get that lesson over with.
Okay.
Just think about it. If you're going to learn love, how many times do you get there? How many forms of love you've got to learn?
Mm-hmm.
How many forms of justice do you got to learn? Ooh, Brenda asked a good question. Some lives may be you agreeing to help someone with the lesson they are coming to learn, can it? Supposing characters to their things. Correct. You may be a teacher to them.
Okay.
No, Ashley, on the other side, it's never a final decision. You can go, nope, I ain't coming back. I ain't going back for 200 years. Or I ain't going back ever, and be like, you know what? It kind of looking fun down there since they got that electro thing and they've got that computer thing. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you got your theories. Pre-birth planning. This one's always fun. This is the one where you start figuring out what you want to learn.
Okay.
You want to, who's going to teach you what? In this theory, like me and Joe agreed to be lovers this life again, even though he's a horse thief.
Hey! What the heck?
You rogue. You got hung a couple times.
Well, shit happens.
Exactly.
That's his theory, by the way, on why I've had 2 neck surgeries.
Yes.
Is that apparently I was, sentenced to death by hanging at least a couple of times.
Yeah, repetitively.
Okay, well, now that makes me question, then how does that interrelate?
Well, it's kind of
As in, like, if you're talking past life regression,
Mm-hmm.
on top of the soul contract.
Right. So you take that past life regression or cell memories, you add that on top of the soul contracts. So that's like you having a second grade spelling book while you were in college.
Okay. So Brenda says I was drugged when I chose mine.
Yes,
you agree.
I agree. I had to be totally like zonked out. I don't know what hash they had going on up there, but I've wondered, and I asked, and you guys have, are avid watchers. Anyone that talks about that in between time between lives, we always ask them, so what's the drugs they give us over there when we're sitting down to plan out this camping trip of hell?
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, I got a dependent mother and a narcissistic father and an abusive spouse. And can you play this role? Can you play this role? Can you do this for me? We were drugged.
Well, I'm just saying. But also this is why I don't want to go camping. Like, I'm afraid it'll be a camping, trip nightmare from hell.
The worst that happen is you'd get hung again.
Hey! I'm trying to avoid that, okay?
Yes, please. You've only done it like 15, 5 or 10 lives. Yeah. All right. So Ashley, let's do Ashley's question.
Okay. Ashley, 82696. Can you tell me how many I've been through and which one I'm on now?
All right. I'm going to give you 2 different theories. I'm going to say you're probably on your 20th life, and right now you're working on love and understanding. But the other theory is to count the bounds on your wrist and times it by 3.
So what, we're powering up? Like,
yeah. Like I've got 6 bands on my wrist complete. You times that by 3. I've been down here at least 18 times.
Oh, look, yet again, I'm a baby.
Uh-huh. All right. And Ashley says, do you know if there are peer influences on the other side? Yes, because we have soul groups. So if your soul group has decided that they want to all learn, peace this life. So, of course, you're going, oh, yeah, I can help you achieve natural peace.
Again, must have been some good shit.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, we'll go do that. It'll be great.
Mm-hmm. And then you have little contracts with people that enter and exit your life.
So Ashley has 4, so that'd be 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to your 12th life.
But again, those are theories, not proof positive. You won't know proof positive till we get to the other side. All right. So that brings us into soul contracts. Soul contracts. How does it work? Before you incarnate, you develop a plan with your spirit guides and counselors on the other side. Of course, you also hire people to or agree to be in each other's lives or each other's classrooms. Kind of like picking lab mates.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Ashley's comment. Shit, I failed everything the last time.
Uh-huh. Well, I also think that's why you have such a strong justice, right and wrong theme idea.
Oh, me?
Uh-huh.
Her. Okay.
You broke the law a couple times, so you decided, oh, I got to be Mr. Good Boy this time.
Why are you so intent on making me out to be a felon?
You're not a felon, you're a horse thief.
Oh, good God.
You do look good in black and white, because Lord knows you pick enough black and white. Oh, gray.
True.
But the fun part of this, and the reason I really like these series, is you start seeing the interconnections with people.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
I'm trying to follow along at the moment. I'm asking questions. I'm trying.
I know.
I mean, I'm there with everyone else. Apparently, the Kool-Aid was awesome.
Yes, had to have been.
Like, what was in the celestial teapot?
I say, some good hash. Either that or we all know that by the time this is over with, we'll be done. This has got to be mine last.
Well, you can always watch later from the beginning, Ashley.
Yeah, because earlier we were just discussing news.
Yes, we had just gotten into that. You didn't miss much.
No, you didn't miss much at all.
Yeah.
Like, we are glazing over that. There are books and books and books.
Oh, see, Brenda knows my struggle. She says it's okay. I'm touchy about things touching my throat. My mother used to insist that I was hanged as a horse thief last life. She believed highly in reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
See, you know my pain and my struggle here.
Yes.
Like, horse thief, I don't know! And even when I find out I would be, hypnotized at the time, you could just introduce that. Ooh, recommendation for books.
Ooh, there's a good number of them out there. I like Danielle McNeil's Soul Contracts. It's on Amazon. It's fairly cheap. It's Finding Harmony and Unlocking Your Past Lives. Of course, we're going to go Sylvia Brown. She had a lot of this about incarnation sprinkled throughout her books, including, The Mystic Traveler.
Okay.
Yeah, like, people make careers out of studying this and studying the different types of information and where it's at. And there's a lot of material out there. But there's a lot of times that, information, you've got to look at it from the ethereal-based point. What I've found interesting is that the life themes one is actually being looked at in psychology as being a problem with people and creating issues from past lives affecting the normal lives.
Okay.
They're starting to finally do some research on this.
Okay, so past lives affecting current lives.
Yes, example.
All right. So are we just talking karma, or are we just talking like, you seem to be, kind of cool with being, hung to death. Well, let's just redo that again.
Right. Oh, and this is the things that people do not like about these series, but a great one to talk about.
Okay.
That we choose some people believe we choose every detail of our life as we come down here. I don't think it's that way. I think that it's both choice there and choice here. as far as we lay out the highlights, kind of like you taking, you choose a professor for English, you choose a professor for math, you choose a professor for this.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know, like, if you're going to go and take that office class with that professor, that it's going to be this way. But you're not exactly sure on your term paper subjects yet. You get that. That's
Okay.
my view of it. I don't think we go that detailed into these soul contracts.
Well, I mean, it is a contract. I can see the theory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't do anything currently without getting a 72-page contract.
Yes.
I mean, I could see the theory of you choose every last detail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could follow that.
Right. But and Brenda brings up a well-known case. There was a woman living in New York. She was terrified of driving over bridges after her teen years. During past life regression, it was revealed that she died from a car going off a bridge in a previous life. The memory was hidden, and it was affecting her now. It's like I'm not Buddhist, but I have a love of Buddha. I have a love of picking up Japanese art, Japanese items.
Mm-hmm.
A very large fan of it. So I definitely believe that I probably spent some time in, China or Tibet.
I will say, though, for people who are terrified of driving over bridges, stop driving over bridges. Just side note. I actually had a friend in high school that was terrified of driving over bridges, especially bridges over water. So their solution for that was to just close their eyes while they did it.
No, not a good solution. Not a good solution at all.
I'm just sitting here going, did you maybe learn the wrong lesson? Like, perhaps that's how this all started.
Right. But it's like questioning where some fears come from.
Mm-hmm.
For unnatural reasons of fears. All right, let's take on Wicked Fairy's question real fast.
All right, Wicked Fairy 72584. Will my boyfriend and I be reunited at the end of the month or next?
Let's take a look here, Wicked Fairy. Ooh, you guys do have a good connection. And looking at it, I would say by the end of the month, I feel like you may even be hearing from him quickly. As we're going into the end of the month. So I think that it'll be a very good rebalance of a relationship, but very much a reconnection.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I begin to wonder if we do not see some cell memories from repetitive health issues.
Okay.
Like it's more than just DNA. Anxiety, I think, can come out of nowhere for some reasons that may be connected to past lives. And that's memory that we've brought in.
Okay. Well, and then there's the reality when we look at previous, like if you look back historically, and assuming that past lives are linear, because that's always the thing I've been curious about is every time I've heard someone talk about past lives,
Mm-hmm.
they've always been like, okay, that past life has to actually be on our linear time scale
Mm-hmm.
prior.
Right.
I've always wondered, does that actually have to be? Like, you're telling me out of a great big giant, ether
Mm-hmm.
of beings, we couldn't screw with the timeline a little bit and just be like coexisting with all time. And potentially you have someone whose past life is actually not until the future.
I see that theory and could match that theory. Yes, I could agree with that. But
Okay.
and that's one of the theories of all time going on at the same time.
Right. So yeah, Ashley was wanting to know about health in past lives, and if you could find an article and throw it in the break room, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. All right, we got a couple questions here. Let's go ahead and take them.
Okay, Virgo Queen. Hi, new viewer. Burger Queen 101394. What is the energy looking for me getting pregnant this year and one baby or twin?
Well, let's see what the energy says.
Okay.
I would look for you to get pregnant probably early next year. Not exactly this year, probably around January, December time. And as far as one baby or two, I'd go ahead and start buying for two, honey. Because you either have them close together or you have them at the same time.
All right. And then Shannon 82890 or 83. Is this job going to work out for me, or do you see me moving to a different department in the same company in the near future?
Take a look here. Shannon, I think you're going to stay in this department for a good while. It'll work out for you. You just need to calm down and get comfortable, because I feel like you're still reaching for yourself. All right, so let's pop up back up to Brenda.
Okay.
What do you think of the theory?
Yeah. What do you think of the theory that where some lives you may have been male and some lives you may have been female, the memory of those may be part of what contributes to people's concept of their gender?
I totally agree. Yes, I think that we do rotate through male and female lives and positions in our soul group lives. And Virgo Queen, I'm feeling little boys.
All right.
All right. And I have gone fuzzy again, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you've been fuzzy for a little bit.
Yeah, it does that.
I mean, I could make a joke about Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Yeah. Orally Hot was a bear.
There you go. Now you're back in focus.
There we go. So it just takes it a moment. I've been noticing that my signal back here is going up and down a lot. I think we may be time to replace my cable.
Oh dear. Yes, very likely.
All right. So we've got soul groups. So where does that, soul mate and twin flames crap come in? Other than a marketing meeting in the mid 90s.
Okay.
Okay. I don't exactly agree with soulmates as there only being one. That would say that they would have to come down every life with you, or you would be in a nun for many of them. That doesn't work a lot of times. So can you possibly have multiple soulmates in one life? Yes. If we look at some of the elderly, they find love late until their 80s. Twin flames is the idea that there are two of you, and that you are a flame burning in the ether, and the Greek gods split you in half because you were two, possibly, that humans could take over the planet, take over the gods' realm. So they split them in half, and you forever chase and hunt for your matching self. I don't exactly agree with that.
Okay.
Ashley goes, what about gender fluid people? Where do they fall into the spectrum for you? They fall right into the spectrum with everyone else. We're all down here experiencing something. We're all making what's true to us. We're all making what's true to our feelings, what's true to our emotions.
Well, I think that would also raise the question, is that someone, or if you're talking about, beings from an ether that may be genderless to start with, then would you potentially be encountering someone who's maybe more aware that, like, this is all crap, so to speak, like this is just window dressing and it's not really that big a deal? Or are you encountering someone who has done this so many times that they've been male, they've been female, they're just like, I don't really care anymore?
Well, I think that's where
Like-
we get non-binary at.
Okay.
You know, they don't care. They're, you know, very comfortable being whoever they want to be at that time.
And I do say that not as a they don't care like literal, but just in a general like meh.
Well, think about it. If you've played, for example, if you have been in a play before and you've played that role so many dang times, you don't care. Yeah, sure, I can show up as Vicki Lawrence, no big deal.
Mhm.
I think that that's where we're getting at is we have had so many souls that have been male for 10 lives and female for 5 lives, and they come in and it's like, no, I'm scheduled to be female. See my card? It says a nice pink rose on it, not a blue medallion. I'm supposed to be female. You put me in the wrong body. Or get down and it's like, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ashley now has a question.
Mm-hmm.
So 82696, do you think Sonny is my soulmate by your definition?
Yes, you married him. You spent a long time with him. You've learned things from him. So yeah, he'd be a soulmate.
All right.
Right. So what other hot topics do we want to look at? What's making your news feed?
Oh, I think the Tennessee one was the big one. Like that was like huge.
Starting huge.
Well, I mean, just the implications there and all the problems that's going to create, like, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no way that's not going to be huge.
Right. Well, did you see what Caitlyn Jenner suspended her campaign for governor because she needs to go to Big Brother in Australia?
What?
Yeah. She is going to go be on Big Brother, so she suspended her campaign for governor of California.
Oh, well, I'm glad that, that happened. And that someone dangled a big enough celebrity carrot to, like, drag her away.
Right.
So, yay! Oh, yeah, Ashley, you want to go back and watch that one?
Yeah, you'll want to cover that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, yeah. But, yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm looking through the news real quick, or trying to.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get there. No, that's .com. Oh, screw it. We're going for the Independent in UK. Let's see what else we have. Oh, so London is to retain masks on public transport. Very nice there. Ooh, this one sounds interesting. So a show I watched for a little while, I don't think I got all the way through it. For those of you, I believe on Netflix, Peaky Blinders. Actor Toby Kirkup died hours after being discharged from hospital. Apparently there were concerns about his treatment while he was at that hospital. Oh, I just got to register. Dang it.
Yeah.
Horrible things that happen, you know?
Very much so. Ashley, how do I feel about our children and families in relation to our past lives? I think we've traded around roles. You know, be your sister one lifetime, your mother the next lifetime. Oh, got hit by a car, so she gets to be your grandmother the next lifetime.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, again, that goes back to the linear theory, doesn't it?
Yes. But I do want to kind of cover this, and this has always been my joke. I know 1,500 people that, you know, I know 15 Elizabeth Taylors. I know 10 queen this or 10 Egyptian high priestesses. Knock it off. Go get real past life regression.
Yeah, that always seems a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I mean, you would think, just hear me out for a moment, but wouldn't you think if you were going to have a past life, and, well, just assuming here for a second, that your past life and your current life might have something to do with each other?
Yeah.
As in, how do you jump from, like, how badly do you have to screw up to go from, like, Cleopatra Liz Taylor to probably where you are when you got told this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone who's been told that offhand that is like, oh, that totally makes sense. You know, they are on the cover of, like, multiple magazines simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No.
you know, not Becky the checkout girl over in Bumfuck.
Mm-hmm. Makes no sense. And furthermore, when you make statements like that in history, you don't come back. Think about it. If you're going to do it big, you ain't coming back to be remembered.
Wouldn't that get really annoying, though?
I think it would be.
I mean, you know, like, I would think after you've had the big lifetime, like, really, I would think that would be the graduation, wouldn't it?
Right. You know, and think about it. And, you know, but also I think if you get to a such low vibration, you're not brought back. You have to, like, go stay over there and get reprocessed and all that before you can even come back. I.e., you know, even though I've threatened that, you know, Trump is, you know, Hitler, I don't think Hitler's energy life force will ever be back.
And I think Ashley might be hitting on the same thing. Is it clear who people are in past lives, like more notable people?
Mm-mm. No, I've not seen that in any documents that is, you know, here it is. You know, this is Queen Anne, this is Queen Elizabeth, this is, you know, a lot of farmers' wives, a lot of doctors' wives, a lot of, you know, everyday people continue to be everyday people.
Mm-hmm. And then
horse thieves.
Hey, Jesus.
No,
So
honey, I'm not him. Wrong incarnation.
No. Wrong flowy hair.
Yes.
So Shannon says, like, Quinn being Cleopatra and Daria.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what all those words mean.
Like Quinn being Cleopatra in Daria, meaning like you know, I don't get it either. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm sitting here going, this sounds like a show that we have not watched. So I'm going, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Do you think it's due to comfort level of the soul while they're in their earlier?
Although Brenda brings up Dorothy Louise Eady, Irish-born, remembered being born in Egypt, went on to work there and find buried places that no one had found previously.
Exactly, and that's occurred. There is a woman that saw the anchorage, which I'll be going to in August. Knew that whole town backwards and forward, had never been there in her life. Went and found that, you know, she is part of, you know, had lived a past life there. There are people that know places they've never been to, and then they go, and it's like they instantly know. You take this street and go to that street and go to that street, and the bar's there. I mean, they instantly know the home. And I have a really weird connection with the Anchorage myself, because every time I go there, I feel like I know the building better than most people.
Well, as in the design and the layout seems really super familiar.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and there's also something to be said for, like, general principles of design and city planning. Some cities are very well built, or some cities are also built poorly in the same way.
Right.
In that you can take your experience in one, and it immediately translates and makes perfect sense to someone.
Right.
Or vice versa, you have a city that it's like, I was somewhere that made perfect sense, and now I'm in a place that it's like, who designed this?
Well, no, what I'm talking about is like there's a gentleman that went to Richmond and was going fine negating this classical historical city until he got to a building. And he's like, there shouldn't be a building here. Well, he went and looked, and there didn't used to be a building there. It used to be a road.
Oh, students from UNCG that come back, let me just tell you now, they have ruined that for you, haven't they? Just notes for the future.
Yeah.
Because I know during my time there, we turned a lot of roads into non-roads, and then they did a whole bunch of other stuff. So the last time I was there, I was like, what is this?
Right.
Like, what is this? This is a nightmare. This is what this is. So, just saying. Hi, Emily. Thanks for joining us. Sorry you're late, but that's okay. Late night story times with the mini mod.
Gotta enjoy those. Are we still on sea monsters, or have we moved on to other things?
Ooh, sea monsters. Sea monsters are fun.
Oh, it looks like Nicaragua has rescued over 100 kidnapped mothers and children. Again.
Ooh. Minecraft Adventure Comics, not sea creatures.
Awesome.
There we go.
Progression. Got to keep us up.
Absolutely.
I don't know. It's been kind of interesting looking at things. And I think also that's why we have a certain desire for food.
Okay.
Example, I have as you know, when I'm tired, I want Chinese. Like, feed me Chinese. Here lately, I've been doing a lot of Mexican, but I'm really into my Chinese, and I'm picky about my Chinese.
Although that could bring up a point, if we're talking about like the obesity epidemic, that if you look back historically, you could end up with a lot of people who went through famine and starvation all coming back at once.
Yes.
God, wouldn't that be a hungry horde?
Oh, I think it definitely is a hungry horde.
I mean, like, hi. You know, just saying.
Yeah. All right, Ashley's got another question.
All right, Ashley, 2696. Can you tell if my sense of direction stems from a past life and how? I know the lay of the land normally after seeing it once.
No, I think that has to do with your recall. Like, you can tell like what Joe was talking about is the recall.
Okay.
Like, things naturally make sense.
Ooh, Ashley is thinking about her 2 tomato plants that just haven't thrived and pulling their fruit off early to make fried green tomatoes.
That sounds like a good plan. The other option there would be to pull the fruit and tan it, which is where you put them on the window and turn them in the sunlight, causing them to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But fried green tomatoes.
Yes, your favorite food.
I know. I do love them.
I know. I need to make you some.
Yes, we do. We do need to make some. Oh, yes. Roma tomatoes. Yeah, you could just sill those. Put those on the windowsill. They'll be fun.
The other thing you may want to check is add a little bit of salt to your water when you water them. Epsom salt water, definitely good for them.
Here you go.
Yep.
Always good, always good. Oh, and Brenda says, I think this is why some strangers seem so familiar. Connections from the other side or past lives.
Exactly. Very much so. There are people that have entered my life, and it's like I've known you forever. And what's strange is I'll start talking to them like they know everything going on in this life, and they're looking at me, huh?
Oh, Shannon, what did you just say? What sacrilege did you discuss? You slice fried green tomatoes, not diced. Like,
Ooh,
ew.
interesting. Kind
No,
of like
ew.
AirPods.
Ew, no. That's just weird. Like, that's weirdo food. Like, normal people don't eat that. I'm calling your grandmother abnormal. That's what I'm doing right there. Yeah, I will wear it.
She has tons of other plants thriving, tomatoes in pots that she could replace with a few in the garden bed that aren't doing well. Yeah, but make sure you put magnesium in there or they won't do well. Also, the aphids are really bad this year down here. I'm kind of glad I didn't plant a garden because our poor rose bushes, they've been like stripped.
I'm pretty sure if you had planted a garden this year, it would have floated away. Like, we've had so many horrific downpours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid with your above ground gardening, that it would have just like popped the bricks, the cinder blocks open and just like washed away.
Right. Well,
Like,
I put drainages in mine.
I know you did, but those are not drains meant for torrential downpour.
True.
Like, they're meant for a little extra water.
Yeah.
Not like, hi, here's 40 days and 40 nights of crap.
You mean like, I don't know, China's getting hit now with deadly floods?
Yes.
Yeah. And I've seen complaints from Scotland and the UK that they're having a heat wave that breaks all records. And we've got an Oregon fire that is creating its own weather.
What? An Oregon fire that is creating its own weather?
Pattern. Yeah, it's creating its own weather. The fire is strong, it's creating its own storm clouds, it's creating its own micro ecosystem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and those clouds will probably even hit the East Coast if they are not already.
Yeah, because the East Coast needs more.
If we get more rain, I swear I'm going to, get out my British flag and write another letter to the Queen asking them to please repossess us.
We'll float there soon.
Yeah.
Send it as a message in a bottle. It'll probably beat us.
Probably.
Float, float, float. Oh. Ah. So Emily did plant some basil and parsley among the tomatoes that she hopes will repel the aphids.
Yeah.
Good deal. Ha. 80s in Scotland. Ooh.
Ew.
Yeah, no.
No. Welcome to weird weather. 2021's weird weather. Like Mother Nature is tissed. And she's heating up and cooling down. And I think we're going to have a bad winter, West Virginians. Brace yourselves.
I can't say that I don't look forward to a bad West Virginia winter because we've had so many, it was winter, we had some snow. It was cold.
Yeah.
Winters in the last few years that I know that's going to be a lot of why we've had so many insects and, again, back to your aphids problem. Like, none of this stuff froze out.
Right.
Well, Farmer's Almanac apparently did say the summer would be very wet.
Mm-hmm.
Did it have a little arc next to every day in it? Just curious. Like, are we getting a final countdown?
Ashley, I need a little bit more descriptor than that. On the tropical plants. Like, what tropical plant is it?
Yeah. I'm focused on Shannon's comment of or Ashley's comment, sorry. I remember my first winter in West Virginia wearing a sundress and hoping to grill. In the most southern way possible, I say the words, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Please. I remember it snowing on the 4th of July. I also remember it snowing in the middle of June here.
Yeah. We have some weird weather.
Yes.
Usually bad,
Yes.
weird weather.
Brenda, Grandma said green in the winter, and the
Cemeteries would be full the next year.
yep. Would agree.
Oh, blizzard of the 90s. Yes.
Oh, come on. Let's take it back to, what was it, 84, when they had to cut the roads? Like they had to cut chambers through the roads?
That's a lot of snow. Unfortunately, I don't remember. I was 2. Sorry.
Just a wee babe wet behind the ears, are we?
Mm-hmm. And comfy inside.
Uh-huh.
Ooh,
1950s
1950
blizzard
blizzard.
were historical. But I think weather's going to continue to be weird. We're seeing people have to be evacuated in China. We're seeing wildfires in the West getting massive, which, I don't get this. By now, we should be used to the West on fire. Why it's not, affecting everything else is beyond me.
Mm-hmm. Shannon is with me. Don't feel bad. I was 1.
Uphill both ways in the snow. Okay, got that.
We've heard.
Ooh, this is interesting.
Hmm.
There's a new map showing the areas of do not travel and everything else. It's quite. Do you remember what you done with your COVID art? Someone done the United States map.
Oh. So basically, don't leave home. Like, it's become, like, I think the world has currently become the American Depress, like, concept.
Yeah.
Like, American Express says don't leave home without it. American Depress says just don't leave home.
Right. And that's where we're basically at with a lot of things. I also think that we've got to get ourselves a little bit more focused this year on food preparation, food storage. I think we will continue to see shortages until probably 2024. So I'm really happy that Emily got a garden in and that the garden's doing well.
Yes, great job.
Yep. Oh, so we're moving into August very quickly. We do have some really cool authors coming on. I'm looking forward to having them on. Couple people I've worked with before. Kristen from Bel Air House is coming on with her new book. Byron Butler is coming on.
Yay!
Fun.
Always.
Yes. Right. So, what do you guys want to give us on hot takes? We'll do hot takes real fast.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Gizmo knows what time it is.
He does know what time it is. Yes.
There you go. So Emily's going, I wish I'd been able to make the garden bigger, but it is step by step. Don't go too fast.
Exactly.
Keep reminding. Yeah.
Yeah. Ours is still in a metamorphosis because we're still in the middle of doubling it.
Oh, wow. Did we see the little boy found after 24 years in China?
We did not. But that's good. It's nice that he's been brought home. 24 years missing? Jesus.
Yeah, really. I would think at that point in your life, finding out you were a missing child would probably be more devastating than like any kind of relief.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a lot of things going wrong.
Right.
you know, because it is.
Yeah.
Oh, he was kidnapped and sold when he was very young.
And that happens a lot.
Oh, wow, under 5. So there's probably little to no memory of anything in life before, like, the kidnapping on into the current today experience.
Right.
Like, I would think you would only have, like, brief flashes at this point.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen anything on these scientists trying to clone a woolly mammoth in Russia?
What?
Yeah.
I thought we ended this with a sheep.
No, they're wanting to clone a woolly mammoth, a type of bear, and a lion.
Oh, well, fun. Like, that should go well. Like, no one saw Jurassic Park in Russia. That's what we just learned. I mean, the bear I'm less scared of. But woolly mammoth, really? Those are huge.
The ones that we already have. Like, let's work with elephants. We need to clone more elephants.
Elephants are fun.
They're sweet.
Yes. And if they get out of control, release the mice.
Mm-hmm.
And then solve it with cats. What? The mice will scare the elephants, and then the cats eat the mice.
And then we have the Black Plague again, because people then will kill the cats.
Well, you
That's
know.
how that pendulum is swinging, and it's not swinging correctly, I'm telling you.
Let's avoid the plague.
Yep.
Didn't think we were going to have to tell people that, but let's avoid the plague.
Yes, we need to tell them to avoid the plague, because we've done with this energy. We have learned this lesson, people. Knock it the fuck off.
Basically. Well, fun question, though. Why don't they clone what is on the endangered species list?
That
So
would
things
make
that exist.
That would make total sense. Like, why aren't we cloning, like, the black rhinos? We need more black rhinos. We need more elephants. We need more tigers. We need more wild animals in general. Not in captivity.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what do you do with the cloned woolly mammoth?
Mm-hmm.
So you're sitting there, you've created, I'm assuming an embryonic woolly mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
What, pray tell, do you get to bring the woolly mammoth into the world?
An elephant.
That's the best I can figure, and I figure it's going to, like, rip that poor elephant in half, because if I remember right, weren't woolly mammoths bigger than elephants?
No, they're the same size as elephants.
Okay.
Cloning butterflies would be nice. We need more butterflies. Which I noticed today where we walk is a butterfly sanctuary or something.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
artificial
blooms. I don't know. I don't think that they've gotten to artificial wombs just yet. Siberia is having wildfires. How interesting.
How do you... I mean, am I not understanding geography? But I thought Siberia was just like a frozen wasteland.
Yeah, but it is under fire.
Hey. Oh, yeah. So apparently, as Brenda points out, no butterflies. Insects and birds are all drones, according to the internet.
Oh, please. Can we at least get a drone? Oh, yes. Amazon has released their drone delivery system.
Hooray!
I think we need to get used to it. I can't wait till the grocery stores can drone deliver.
Fair. Like, that would have helped the other night.
Oh, that would have massively helped the other night.
Like, I needed 2 items, okay?
Uh-huh.
Like, technically, I needed 2 items. We could have waited on the rest.
Right. I do think it's interesting that Biden is calling out Facebook over the misinformation that they're allowed there by 2 people.
Okay.
12 people on Facebook are the sources for most of the conspiracy and misinformation about COVID.
Well, hooray.
So can we take those 12 people and, like, charge them with murder? We have over 600,000 deaths. I wonder how many life sentences they can get.
Mm-hmm.
I say charge them with 500 life sentences.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep.
But yeah. Oh, goodness.
And your UP is planning to make Bitcoin transfers more traceable. This one is up your alley.
What?
Coming to you in private chat.
Okay.
You can cover this one, and then we're going to close out.
All right. So the EU plans to make Bitcoin transfers more traceable. Proposed changes to EU law would force companies that transfer Bitcoin or other crypto assets to collect details on the recipient and the sender. So that would obviously make that more traceable. Basically, it would also help stop money laundering and the financing of terrorism. So the new rules would also prohibit providing anonymous crypto asset wallets. Could take up to 2 years to become law. And yeah. So basically, they'd be treated like wire transfers.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you're trying to put the genie back in the bottle.
But here's the question. If they're treated as wire transfers, can you also get them for money laundering, but also wire fraud?
Well, yeah, fundamentally you would be able to.
Yeah.
I would think. But basically, if you want to make real money, you have to follow the rules of real money.
Mhm.
Said David Gerard, author of Attack of the 50-Foot Blockchain. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to put the genie back in the bottle. I think you'll just see cryptocurrency not get traded in the EU, at least not openly, and you'll probably see that a lot of it goes underground.
Yeah, which is expected to go underground.
Well, it always kind of has been.
Right.
So yeah, again, that's where I'm at with, like, you're trying to put the genie back in the bottle.
Right.
Like, you allowed this to occur.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had opportunities way before this picked up steam to be like, okay, we will take you seriously, but we're going to require some shit.
Right.
Instead, now this is kind of at full steam,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going, oh, well, yeah, we're not really cool with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, too late now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just don't think you're going to see this go back in the bottle.
Right.
And like, okay, fix it. I think you'll see this become, they'll sort of get what they want without getting what they want. As in, I would say it won't be publicly traded. I would say that most likely you will see the disappearance of EU-based ATMs for Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So you will not have easy access to deposit and remove funds, and do the currency convert. I think that's most of what we'll see.
Yeah, and I think that will be very hard on Bitcoin. Of course, they've been getting hit with a lot of stuff here lately.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I don't know that it'll necessarily be all that hard on Bitcoin.
I don't think so, because a lot of EU companies started accepting Bitcoin. Now they're going to stop.
Well, right, but I would think you're more than likely. What I mean is, they're not going to get what they want.
Right.
I think that's the best that's going to occur.
Mm-hmm.
Is you're going to get what you want, but not what you meant.
Right.
And not what you actually asked for.
Right.
That's the best you can hope for. Otherwise, I think it's going to become you'll have legitimate,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're going to have people who specialize in still moving that money.
Right.
And, it'll be a little harder. It'll be a little more, involved. But effectively for them to do what they want, and actually get what they want,
Right.
would require not just the EU to get involved,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole world to be like, yeah, we're going to totally back that and make that happen. I don't think you're going to get everyone's consensus.
Right. It'll be interesting to see how this develops because, again, this is in the EU, so it is in parliaments. All right, Vanna, hit the base.
Oh, we've come to that magical time where we do want to thank our... Oh, sorry, I turned it off. Where we do want to thank our Patreon supporters, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Giss, Shannon C, Shannon D, and of course, Lady Gwendolyn. If you'd like to learn more about us or how you too can support the show by becoming one of our baristas, please visit PCSPnetwork.com.
Yes, and also a reminder to our baristas, we have our barista meeting next Monday.
Yay!
Yeah. So that'll be fun. And we already have some topics been suggested to talk about that night, so we'll be talking about those. And until then, we will see you next Friday for Mountain Bears. We'll have more topics ready. There'll be more crap going on. We'll be ready for it.
Absolutely.
And as always, you can reach me for appointments, either Zoom or phone call, or you can reach me at Keen. And as always, thank you, patrons. See you then. Bye, y'all. Good night.
Bye. Night.
You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can't whisper behind my back. You can't show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. And my feet have come too far for you to tie 'em to the ground.